Hey guys, Mr. Black here. Today we are going to be looking at Belladonna, specifically a 200 idle score. Definitely a bit of a tricky one, but definitely doable, and hopefully with a bit of information I can help a couple of other people to get through it as well. Alright, so starting off with this one, I just want to touch on the general fight itself. So the overall mechanics of it are: you kill the actual mob, Belladonna will then jump down and will be attackable. Once she reaches her half HP threshold, the fight will restart. She will jump back up, she'll be invulnerable. Once you kill the mob, she'll jump back down again. When she dies, the fight is over. Now, each of the actual mobs themselves can definitely pose a bit of a problem. If at any point any of your characters will start their turn with line of sight, then they will be able to jump to you directly. They deal massive amounts of damage and really annoying effects. Your best thing to do is never give them line of sight. If you can get them locked, perfect. Belladonna does give one nasty little effect called explosive bewitchment. So what that does, essentially, if you hit a monster with it, or you hit a monster which is sharing damage with a monster that has it, you will swap places with it. And when you're trying to avoid everything having line of sight, that's the last thing you need. So you wait another turn, or if you can stabilize it, if you can root it without doing damage first, that's your best way to deal with it. So just going to have a little look at each of the monsters in the fight first. So there is Belladonna. If she has line of sight, she's able to put a black glyph around one character, the one she has line of sight on, and it extends linear and diagonal. If a character ends on that black glyph, they are instantly killed. So your best thing, don't let her have line of sight. Each of the other monsters have similar annoying effects. All of them are capable of jumping towards you. The Wallopopy, if it gets within range, it can move your characters, putting them in line of sight. So really you want to range rape it, take it out quickly, lock it. Army of the Valley, it will have an effect where it gains life points per line of damage. It will still take the initial damage, but it will heal back whatever damage you have done. So every other turn. Then the one that most people find annoying is the Chameleax. That one can jump. It can jump to you, it can do massive amounts of damage. Highly recommended take it out first, and that would be along with the Statula, who is able to swap with you from distance. So taking out the Chameleax and the Statula first, highly recommended. Now I do want to talk a little bit just about the map, because the map itself is what can make this fight possible. So as you can see, these three pillars is where you want all of your damage dealers, your healers, Ennies, Kras, everything hidden behind here. Now the first thing you want to do is get your panda to around this sort of location here, against the wall so it can't be pushed by the Wallopopy. Start locking them. You want to get them around you so you have linear line of sight from behind here by moving. And then I want to actually talk about the classes we'll be taking and why. Panda, usually pretty obvious. Great tank, easy to lock things, especially if you're using a Jess, a Lady Jessica bout. And also some absolutely incredible things, abilities to make this fight so much easier. Obviously the ability to give itself MP. It can pull, it can push, it can pick up and throw. Things like Sherpa, very useful here. Brewing, especially since the update where you can now you can now make something take more damage, but you can also put them in gravity using one spell. The gravity state here, especially on the monster that gets the explosive bewitchment, is priceless. It's a fantastic ability. Fermentation, definitely for tanking. Prohibition, definitely useful. They can deal a lot of damage, so keeping that available. And that's about it for Panda. Yeah, just extra MP. Next one, I have gone with 2 Kras, both pretty much identical setups. So gone your crit build, Hexax, because we will be taking Belladonna out in close combat. Then loads of power, loads of range damage, trying to get out as much as possible as soon as possible. Things I will be mainly using in this fight would be Crushing Arrow, again for that gravity. It does deal damage before it puts the gravity state on, so you don't want to use it on the one with explosive bewitchment on it, but it can still be useful for things like the Chameleax, which jumps on its own without the effect. Then you've got all your buffs, your damage. I personally will be using a lot of Devouring Arrow and also Tormenting Arrow as well. Explosive or Fulminating, unfortunately because of the effects they're not very useful here, but still, well, you got a choice of one or the other anyway. And then for the other Kra, like I said, very, very similar setup. The only difference here is just the Jahash. Maybe one day I'll actually have a second. That would be amazing. And then for the Enu, which will be the next class I'm bringing along for this one. Obviously MP reduction. It can boost damage. It can move. It can move things. Amazing class to have here. Also using Mindfire, if I need to, I can heal extra. So it is things like Orpheria Shovel, going to be useful, Living Shovel, Coin Throwing, and then just my buffs as well, the AP and final damage. And the last class I'm bringing, Belladonna herself, does do quite a bit of damage. No, I do not want to feed that to that. That would be an expensive mistake. The last class I'm bringing will be my Eni, so pure int, all based on heals. I'm currently sitting at 138 heals in this set. So all int, 11.6, 4.1k. The thing I will be utilising on the Eni a lot though. So I will do it without it for this fight. So I will just be using my resistance pet instead. So it's not even max level. Extra bit of resistance, bit of power. Keep it very, very simple. And yeah, then the next thing I want to talk about is what idols we are going to be using. So the idols for this one is actually a very, very classic setup, and so it is going to be the three Yoshis, then also the Neko, and the last one was just the 1 MP, and that will give you a score of 208. So you got the Yosh, the Neko, and a minor Dynamo. That is going to be your basic setup for this fight. You want to keep them locked, kill them each before their turn. Due to the Yoshis, you are pretty much just going to be doing a blitzkrieg strategy, and as soon as they are all dead, you can start working on Belladonna. Now, the one last thing I wanted to talk about before we jump in the fight is Belladonna's effects when she's down. So she has the ability to swap with a character and also put them on a black glyph and with minus 99 movement points. Obviously, if you've got someone like a Kra, they can move themselves. But if you are, for instance, a Sadie, which is actually my main account, I would then rely on another character moving me. If a character ends on that black glyph, it is again instant killed. So just something to look out for. But apart from that, all she really does is she will remove AP, quite a bit of AP, and then just a bit of damage. During that time, you don't need to worry about line of sight. As soon as she does reach her half HP threshold, the whole map resets. Characters go back to starting points, monsters all return, she returns, and it's just restarted. The only difference is the monster's damage is increased, and also their resistances are lowered. So the second half is a bit easier, as long as you're careful. If you're not, you can take a lot of extra damage. But apart from that, I think it's about time we jump into this fight, and yeah, let's get some 200 Belladonnas killed. Alright, let's get Panda in position. Oh, nice. I just want to swap my NU and NU around. Alright, let's go for it, shall we? Alright, straight away, noticing Camilliax has the effect on it, and this one is going to be able to pull me. So I want to try and limit that as much as possible. This one is going to be able to get diagonal to me, I think. So it is going to push me down here. So I put myself in gravity, which I can't now anyway. That will do. Alright, that will pull, and then we'll pull again. Which I can push it back. Which is no issue. Sweet. Up. Don't want to touch anything yet this turn. Hopefully I can take out that Camilliax first. And yeah, I will. Turn 2, I shouldn't need buffs. Perfect. And a bit of damage. And a bit of MP, why not? Didn't actually need to MP myself in the end. That one there. You can go there. Yeah. A Wallapop might be a bit of a pain, but apart from that, it's not going to be too bad. Just want to see damage share. No. Don't need to gravity this turn either. So that Camilliax can be the first one, or the stack can be the first one. Camilliax it is. bit of extra AP to spare. Wallapopy next. So, looking at the fight at the moment, the arm can only attract, it can't push. No line of sight. The stat can swap, but it can't swap with something that stood right next to it. The Wallapopy is the only one there that can hit and has line of sight. So that is going to have to be the priority. Now, that stat, hopefully, I can start taking that one out. Even a burnt pie can be helpful. Always keep your buffs as high as you can get them. Now, I think if you can take an average of 1 out per turn, yeah, that's all you can really ask for. You know, that's a fantastic amount. Okay, so this one I'm not going to touch now until its turn. I don't want it gaining all those buffs. Also, that will also mean my NU's debuff will have worn off, and I'll have a lot more damage. Don't need any healing. I don't need anything. Beautiful. Okay, so I will have to gravity it. Otherwise, I'm going to swap with it. So gravity, done. Just checking, does it have its effect on it? It doesn't look like it does. Always the hardest one to take out, just because of its massive amount of vitality. Okay, so now I'm going to want to get some summons on this field. Okay, so that is essentially your first wave. So taking care of the mobs, not giving them line of sight. Okay, what I'm looking for now is who has been transported onto a black glyph. Obviously making sure I can keep them alive. Okay, so to start with, let's get the car off. And start looking at some close combat damage. Definitely a few summons litter the place a bit. Just make it like if she swaps with one, it means I haven't got to worry about it. It just makes my life that little bit easier. There's that one nice and healed and buffed up. Now sometimes she does like to take time to take her turns. Hopefully she stays relatively close so I can get 2 Kras in close combat to her. That is fine. I'll do this. Vulnerabilities on there. So always looking for the black glyph and how to get people in close combat. Halfway through. Okay. Do. So again, looking black glyph, make sure I can save whoever lands on it. Okay, so it's a Coney, don't have to worry. Everyone will have MP this turn, I don't have to attempt to save everyone, I can just focus on her. phased. And you can do it. And there we go. So that is now phased. So basically now I'm going to want to get my panda back up there quite quickly. The Walla Poppy being up that side is actually quite nice. Those two down there, that's not really an issue. Looks like we're in good steads at the moment. Obviously it is still blitzkrieg tactics. I can try get everyone, including summons, back behind here. That's just going to be an added bonus. So now it can't get to me. Fantastic. Make sure Panda's got loads of MP. Okay, now I'm going to restart everything I just did. So this one, well, all of these I want back here again. Okay, the army is the one that can attract me. So that's the one I've got to be most wary about. So if I go here, now this now can swap me, so I need to make sure I'm gravitated. Give them something to just play around with for a second. It won't last very long, but it stopped that getting to me first turn, which is nice, and no line of sight for it. Okay, now I need to just buff up, get ready to go again. Sorry guys, don't want you here anymore. Okay, stat your luck is a potential first, depending on where it ends. Not somewhere I wanted it to. Okay, next one, NU. Let's have a look. 3 very, very nice places for everything to end, as long as the cam doesn't push me, which it will. Nah, it's gonna be annoying. See, I want the cam now to jump. Let's see what it does. Nice. Okay, so always be wary if you have a cam Chameleax next to you, it can't be able to push you. Otherwise that does spell just a lot of trouble. Okay, so first one, Chameleax. Is it damage sharing? It is not, which is fantastic. That one there. Walla Poppy there. Okay, so looking at this, he can't drag me. He can potentially swap with me, which isn't very nice. Chameleax can't push me, Walla Poppy can't move me. It's only the Statulup, which is a potential issue. take care of that cam now would be fantastic. Or best thing to take this one out. Okay, let's see if this is going to be an absolute nightmare to me. Oh. Nice. That's absolutely fine. You run away. Okay, now that one is out of the way. Statulip would be the logical next one, but I'm better to wait. Okay, so next turn, turn 11, I'm going to have a high cloudy, which is going to be fantastic. If I could potentially take that Wallop puppy out, I can't, unfortunately. It is damage sharing, so I'm going to have to wait for the arm to take its turn. Okay, so the arm will swap, and anything that it's damage sharing with will also swap, so I need to make sure it is gravitied. And I'm going to put that on. So the Wallop Poppy needs to go now. Beautiful damage. So you definitely utilise their minus reses as much as you can. That doesn't make things easy. Okay. Okay, if something like this happens, you want to do one or two things. Either kill it as soon as you can, or push it back and lock it as soon as you can. Make sure my Annie's actually got the MP. Cool. Get some more damage done on it without worrying about if I'm going to kill it or not, because it's pretty much already dead anyway. So still no line of sight for Belladonna, and the only one that's got line of sights are ones I'm happy for them to have a line of sight. So now I need to make sure the Statulip dies on this Krah's turn. Straight away there's a good amount of damage. That is not, which is a bit annoying. Okay, so that one's dead, and now it's going to be a rinse and repeat again. So I want to buff up, get ready to take this one out. I'm not going to start on it until 1. I'm on an odd turn, just because of its massive HP, and 2 when I've actually got buffs, so I can make sure I give buffs for next turn. So he's on, and also MP. And I'm also going to start looking at some summons when Belladonna comes down. Okay, so still the effect. I still want to make sure I gravity it. Cool. And then I can start thinking about some summons. See how those reses really make a massive difference. One cry just took that out on its own. Now Belladonna does have some damage buffs because I had to use Devour an Arrow. Make sure I get everybody in. Make sure everyone is all buffed up. Everyone's got good HP. 7 MP, 7 MP. And I think that will about do it. Coney. I'll stick a carrot over here as well. Now, every attack that the boss does on a summon means it's not doing it on you. So who's it going to now put on the black glyph? A chest. Perfect. So let's get some debuffs on her. Get myself ready to be able to use my MP if I need to. Have another summon. You don't have to use the summons, but you'll take a lot more damage if you don't. Right, 13k to go. Two on next turn, so it's going to be a high cloudy turn, so I might as well buff it up even more. Make sure everyone's good vitality. Any buffs? So 7 MP there. Looking a little worse for wear on 1900, but no, not really a problem. Just do that. Okay. Maybe 1-2 more turns. Okay, so again, who's she going to put on the glyph? How am I going to save them? Hopefully, it's just another summon. It was a carrot, which she instantly killed anyway. Hopefully she doesn't just run away. She usually runs within a general kind of vicinity of you. sometimes she will just dart it. But sometimes she does that, which is even nicer. You can repeat the turn. So, card number 1. Alright, and this is a 200 Belladonna. Fantastic, fun fight. Definitely a bit of a challenge, but highly recommend. Please give it a go. Oh, it's actually a couple of accounts who've just got it for the first time. Yeah, it's a fantastic fun fight. Awesome, interesting mechanic. But look, if I'm more than happy to answer any questions or anything, please leave a comment. But yeah, looking forward to doing the next one. If you've got any suggestions of what you'd like to see, please just give me a shout. I'll see you next time.